Ha señalado la importancia de oír las demandas de la población y ver las formas en que este Consejo puede facilitar esas oportunidades. Lo alentamos en lo nacional a seguir aprovechando el proceso participativo del examen periódico universal con miras al segundo ciclo para así seguir consolidando su democracia. A continuación, invito al podio a Su Excelencia el señor Surapong Tovichak Chaikul, Ministro de Relaciones Exteriores de Tailandia, para formular su presentación ante este Consejo. Ministro.
Madam President, Madam High Commissioner, Excellency, distinguished delegates, it is a great honor for me to speak before the Human Rights Council today. On behalf of the loyal Thai government, I wish to express our appreciation to both the President of the Council and the High Commissioner. Your active leadership in advancing the cause of human rights is an inspiration to us all. I am proud of Thailand's membership in the Council, which reflects our commitment to democracy and human rights. The smooth transition in our democratic process, as reflected in last July's general election, demonstrated the spirit of Thai democracy. The highest voter turnout in our history speaks for itself. With the solid mandate of the people during the past 7 months, since assuming office, the government has translated our social and human rights policy into concrete actions in various areas. I will highlight but a few. First, Thailand's first female Prime Minister has made a key imprint on female empowerment. Apart from her leadership, the creation of the National Women's Development Fund to help women develop their professional potential and their leadership in communities is a clear testament to the government's dedication towards the women agenda. Secondly, the government has strived to enhance people-centered policies such as universal health care, as well as free and equal educational opportunities for all. The Education for All policy has been strengthened through the government's One Tablet PC per Child scheme. This would start with Grade 1 students to help them get acquainted with IT for educational purposes. Thirdly, as the country becomes an aging society, the government is increased efforts to improve the quality of life for the elderly and disabled. This includes provision of public facilities and enhancing their access to opportunities. Furthermore, with our firm commitment to the rights of persons with disabilities, we are presenting Senator Montien Buntan for election in the Committee on the Rights of Persons with Disabilities for the term 2013 to 2016. Fourthly, the Thai government is pleased to inform the Council of Thailand's progress on national reconciliation. The government has been fully supporting the work of the Truth for Reconciliation Commission of Thailand, TRCT. A committee has been set up to coordinate with the TRCT to follow up on action taken to implement its recommendations. A compensation package has recently been approved to compensate all sides for losses in the past political conflict on an equal basis. Meanwhile, investigations are still ongoing to bring perpetrators to justice and provide redress to those affected. To this end, the Independent Committee to promote the rule of law has been set up to study ways to ensure that the work of state agencies in the is in line with the rule of law and is fair and free from double standards. Madam President, human rights lie not only at the heart of Thailand's domestic policies, but also our foreign policy. We will deliver on what we have pledged. Indeed, some of these commitments have already been related. We have made progress on adherence to the core human rights instruments, particularly in regard to withdrawal of reservations. We have also become a signatory to the International Convention on the Protection of All Persons from Enforced Disappearance. On the rights of vulnerable groups, we were able to bring to the Council's attention the situation of female inmates. To build on this, a side event on the implementation of the Bangkok rules will be held later next month to further promote the rights of women. On enhancing engagement with the special procedures, the recent visit to Thailand of the Special Rapporteur on human trafficking, especially children and women, is a testament to our cooperation with the Council experts and our commitment to fight against human trafficking. In addition, since Thailand has issued a standing invitation to all special procedures, we are arranging for more mandate holders to visit the country over the next few years. On support for the UPR process, Thailand has engaged in the review process with the firm conviction that the UPR can contribute to real change on the ground. The review gave us the opportunity for soul-searching and redressing some of our human rights issues in an inclusive manner. We have accepted most of our recommendations and taken home some of them. For serious consideration, we now look forward to having a constructive dialogue with all during the adoption of Thailand's UPR report next month. Finally, Thailand was pleased to have been able to steer the Council to adopt by consensus the resolution on enhancement of technical cooperation and capacity building in the field of human rights at the 18th session. We are confident that the current session's thematic discussion on this topic under Agenda Item 10 will help to cultivate the culture of prevention to a capacity-building approach. Madam President, as a member of the Human Rights Council, Thailand recognizes its responsibility to support the work of the Council to address urgent human rights situations and issues. First and foremost, we must be guided by a spirit of dialogue and engagement, as well as the need to work on the basis of consensus. We have thus welcomed the positive trend in the Council on cross-regional initiatives. This is a good example of constructive cooperation and the efforts to achieve inclusiveness and consensus. In Thailand's view, the Council should pursue further efforts to enhance such a cooperative approach, particularly on country situations. In so doing, it should make use of the available tools in a discerning manner. It should take into account the views of countries concerned and the efforts they have made. It should also allow adequate time to exhaust domestic remedies and engage them in the whole deliberation process. Such an approach is indeed applicable to the case of Sri Lanka, which has made considerable advances towards national reconciliation and sustainable development. After years of strife, we view that Sri Lanka homegrown process should be prioritized to address the remaining issues. We thus support the Sri Lanka government's voluntary engagement with the international community. We also value its effort to consider how to best implement the recommendations of the Lesson Learned and Reconciliation Commission, LLRC. Thailand also welcomes the ongoing positive developments in Myanmar towards democratization and reconciliation. We hope that this will be duly reflected in the discussions at this Council. With this in mind, a fresh approach should be adopted, and this year's resolution should be balanced and acknowledge the progress made in Myanmar through constructive engagement with the concerned country. We do hope that a true consensus would be attained. While it is incumbent for the Council to strive towards dialogue and engagement, there will be times when the Council is faced with a pressing and urgent situation which requires decisive action. Otherwise, the Council's credibility will be at stake. Such is clearly the case with the current situation in Syria. We therefore join the international community in voicing a loud and clear message for an end to the violence and urge all sides to work together and support the initiatives of regional states and the UN to promote an early resolution of the situation. The Council must act with unity of purpose to prevent a further worsening on the ongoing humanitarian crisis. Madam President, Thailand will do our utmost to promote human rights, democracy, and human development at home. We are also determined to play a robust and value-added role at the international level. With our genuine commitment to the promotion and protection of human rights, including through our presidency of the Council last year, Thailand will stand for election to the Council once again for the term 2015 to 2017. Finally, we pledge to continue to cooperate with all stakeholders in creating rights-based societies for all. Thank you, Madam President.
Muchas gracias, señor ministro. Lo felicitamos por el compromiso de Tailandia con la democracia, Estado de Derecho, derechos humanos.